So, good evening. Welcome to the School Planning Committee meeting of Wednesday, May 18th, 2022. In keeping with an act relative to extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency, as amended by Governor Baker on February 12th, 2022, this meeting will be conducted remotely over Zoom. Attendance by committee members will be remote, and remote attendance shall count towards quorum. This meeting will be broadcast live and recorded on ECAT. The first item on the agenda are the minutes of Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. And I have one item for correction, and then if anyone else has any, just jump in. So in the paragraph on F, F, and E, throughout, there's a word called soft cross, SOFTCROSS. That should be changed to soft cost, COST. Does anyone else have any other comments on the minutes? I can't see everyone, so just shout out. Okay, hearing none, I will take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second, Martin.
Okay. So I think I saw everyone who came here. So if I miss you in the roll call, just let me know. Cedarbaum?
Yes.
Weintraub?
Yes.
Helen?
Yes.
Ramosi?
Ramosi abstain.
O'Neill?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Fulgenetti?
Yes.
And Wiseman is yes. Okay. So thank you. The next item is review of the meeting format. So I just wanted to update everyone on where we're going. Under current state law, we can hold our public committee meetings remotely until July 15th, 2022. So between now and then, some of our boards are starting to meet in person. As of now, we have one more meeting before the July 15th date. I know later in the agenda, we're going to be talking about maybe moving the date, but as of right now, we have one meeting. Given the size of this committee and that we have members from outside of Easton, I think we should continue to meet remotely for as long as we are permitted. Are there any objections to that? Okay, great. So unless the laws change, our next meeting after July 15th will be in person. And Dr. Cabral has graciously offered to let us meet in our old meeting room, which is the professional development room at the Richardson Olmsted School. I'm not sure if the 5:30 time will work for everyone with an in-person meeting. We have several members who are not here tonight, so I'd like to wait until our next meeting to discuss that, if that's okay with everyone. So then we'll just move on. The next item is the construction progress update. Walter?
Thank you. I'll run through some photos and then happy to take any questions as we run through. As you guys can see on the left, you'll see a photo of the the most westerly end of E-wing, and you'll see at the top, you see the wood phenolic panels, and on the bottom, you will see the fiber reinforced panels. So those are going up around the building. On the right of that picture, you can see the curtain wall at the stair. On the right-hand side here, you can see the accent wall at the end of E building, so really just inside that staircase. And then you can see the cutout for the bottle fill station, so it's a chilled bottle fill station. So a lot of progress moving along in E-wing. On the left, you will see the gymnasium from up high on the storage area, looking towards the opening at the platform between CAF 2, so what we call the stage, that opens up to both the gym and the cafeteria. On the right, you can see some of the ductwork in that area being prepped, being hung, and some good progress in the gymnasium as well. Everything's being prepped for paint and finishes as well. On the left, you'll see a photo of the mock-up classroom with the cabinetry in. You see the ceiling grid, you see the lighting fixtures. All the MEPs are in that room. The flooring is going to head in next. The flooring is actually in there now. The photos just from earlier in the month. On the right-hand side, you can see a photo of the seating area at the top of what is A wing outside the stairwell. A nice seating area looking over the fields, what will eventually be the fields, currently overlooking Parkview now, and it'll be the fields and the playgrounds. On the left-hand side, you can now see the fiber reinforced panels going up on the end of D wing. So this is the southeast corner of the building. On the right-hand side, you can see the mock-up wall and a good picture of all of the panels going up, including the windows as well. Moving right along, you can see the utility trench being prepped right there. It has the stone in it, has the water, has the gas. Moving right along. On the right, you can see the structures at Spooner Street. So these are the relocated new structures that are going to handle the water coming off the street. They are tied in now. Well, excuse me, they're tied into each other. They need to have their final tie-in to the connection further to the right of that photo. On the left, you can see the comparison between last month and this month. So you can see the AVB is continued, it's final. The roof is been cleaned off. We have just the cover board up there now. So not a lot of progress on this area, but let's see on the other two photos, quite a bit. Let's see. So on the left-hand side, you can see the difference. They've moved the green girt and the insulation right around the building. And then the progress update between last month and this month, you can see all of the fiber panels and the wood and the replica wood going up all along the building as well. So happy to take any questions if anyone has any on construction update before I head into the next item. You can just yell them out. I can see everyone. And
Just one question on that water piece. That's the storm runoff piece you were mentioning that's going to get connected to, yeah, next one, that one.
Yeah.
That's the replacement for, or I guess the mitigation for the water runoff.
It's a little bit more than that. So the new structures that need to go in to handle this, the impervious on the road that we're creating, or the road right there. So there was a structure there. In order for us to get to these two structures, that pole behind it needed to get relocated. It has since been relocated. And then really enhancing what was there. So there's actually only one structure there before, and now we have two. So
okay.
It handles a little bit more. Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Walter.
Yep.
Walter, I think maybe one of the last meetings, there was a question on the outside panels, the coloring. Some of them were not consistent. Was that resolved?
So since we've met, we have had some literature come back from the manufacturer. Is it, Dan, correct me, Equivokes, is that the name?
Equitone.
Equitone.
They have a, there is in their literature an allowable fluctuation in color.
Yeah.
So we need to get them to send us they sent us some samples, but not of the color that's on this building. So we want them to send us the sample of what's on this building and what the allowable fluctuation is, manufacturing fluctuation.
Yeah. So we have a request in with them. They, as Dan said, they sent us, unfortunately, one that had a red color on it, but they need to send for this exact color that we have, and the designer will review that in the field and determine if these are acceptable variances as noted in their submittal.
Is that something that's going to change with weather as well? I mean, they're going to weather out to the same color?
Dan, I don't know if there was any mention of that in their.
No, they're UV stable, so they really shouldn't change too much with weather.
Right.
They will. They do need to be washed still at this point, because we walk by them today. There's definitely dirt and dust on them from install. So that certainly needs to happen, and that'll change them somewhat. But there are, and I think it's really the end of D-Wing is the area that we were most concerned with, because it's a very big field of just this material, so you can see them popping out in the different shades. It's less prominent in the other areas that are put up now.
I'm trying to, yeah, there we go. So Dan is speaking to this area of the building right here.
Yep.
But that is in process. We have that under review with the designer and then also with the manufacturer as well.
Thank you.
Yep, no problem. All right, I will move right along. So believe at our last meeting, if we didn't mention it, I apologize. We're still gathering quite a bit of information, but if not, and for anyone who's not aware, on April 4th, there was a diesel heating oil spill at the inside courtyard on D-Wing. So where you see that poly on the ground, there was a heating element that was being used to heat the building. It was being filled once, twice, maybe 3 times a week. And on a Monday evening, about 100 to 150 gallons were spilled on the ground. DEP was immediately notified. All of the regulations and procedures were followed by, it was Construct Oil or Connect Oil. They notified fire department, PMA notified Easton Fire. So remediation efforts began following that. They were on site within 2 days working on excavation. At this point in time, and today, as an update as of today, Brate Builders through Construct Oil's insurance. So this is running through insurance right now. There is no cost exposure to the town of Easton. This is being done through an insurance claim. Whatever is not carried by Construct Oil will be done through the general contractor's insurance. They had a truck on site today and a vac truck to remove soil. Unfortunately, when they went to remove the soil, there was too much stone for that vac truck to work. So on the right-hand side right there, you see the piers that are in the ground. You can see it on both. Brate Builders will be removing those over the next couple days and working to remove more soil. So they do have a plan in place. Unfortunately, it is tight to the building, so there could be an SOE, when, for anyone not aware, that is a support of excavation to not interfere with the building. That will need to run through the RAP. If everyone remembers, the rammed aggregate piers are under this building. That'll need to run through their engineer as well to make sure that their engineered system is not going to be impacted. But it is quite a process, but Brate Builders is aware of the issue. PMA reminds them daily, if not hourly, to make sure that they're tracking what's going on, make sure we have the reports. So PMA does have all of the LSP, licensed site professional reports, from any day that any activities have been ongoing. Some soil has been removed. It's being stored properly before it gets transferred to a facility. We have confidence that Brate is working on this right now, and in a manner that they need to get it done. But we really, Brate Builders has been, the town did receive the notice that as this is their site, the owner of the site gets a letter from DEP. Brate Builders is also being put on notice from the DEP, as well as Construct Oil. And I think that's really everything I have on the remediation update. I'm happy to take any questions from the group on this issue.
Is that going to have an impact on the current schedule?
So we're not sure yet. We don't think so. And it is up to Brate to mediate any type of issue on that. Is not the town's issue. The good news is it's outside of the building. So all of the work really, if they really wanted to get in there and put the facade up on the building, they could. It's not delaying anything right now. They have other areas they can work on. The one caveat to that is SOE contractors are booked up and heavily booked up, and there's only 3 of them within a good local area to get on site. So depending on what's needed to be done there to support the building before they excavate the soil near the building, there could be a little bit of time. We're not aware of what the plan is now and how deep they need to go, but they are working on that with the engineers currently. And as soon as we hear anything, we'll be able to keep the committee updated. Right now, we're not foreseeing anything, but we can't really say one way or the other how long this is going to push out before they get it completely cleaned up. 100 to 150 gallons is quite a lot of fuel that was on the ground. Yep.
Walter,
Yep.
this is Caroline. So you just said 100 to 250. I thought initially you said 100 to 150.
100 to 150. If
Oh, okay. I just want to be sure. Okay,
Yeah.
that it had. Thank you.
No, yeah. 100 to
How
150.
does something like that happen? I mean, I know that's a kind of naive question, but
It was 5:30 at night. He was filling it. I don't want to take a guess at what happened. No one.
Okay.
There's no camera on that area.
okay.
Those trucks do pump out oil incredibly fast. It could have been 30 seconds that he wasn't paying attention. Someone wasn't paying attention. Something could have broke. We haven't really heard, and there's nothing in the report that went to DEP on what actually happened and why there was a spill.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else?
All right. Move right along. We'll go to a cash flow schedule update. So to date, the project has billed $46.15 million. MSBA reimbursement to date is $18 million. And pending MSBA audit, so that part of that 7.88 is in with the MSBA right now, and part of it has not been submitted, is being reviewed right now with MSBA. Right now, you see the April numbers are not in there. We did just get a final revised requisition from Brait earlier this afternoon, so that did not make it in for this update. But it is in line with the expectations of where we'd be at this point in time for that requisition as well. Construction look ahead. In the next month, we're going to look to have the fieldstone masonry complete, exterior window testing. I think we probably have one, maybe two more rounds of that going. Probably complete the green girt framing and infill with insulation around the entire building. Continue the installation of all the exterior facade systems, so the phenolic panels, the fiber reinforced panels, the metal panels. MEP rough-ins will likely be complete at all buildings if they're not wrapped up currently. Resilient flooring is going to continue throughout the classrooms and corridors. I mean, we didn't have many good pictures of that. It does get covered up immediately for protection. So unfortunately, we don't get a lot of good pictures of the flooring going in. Painting is going to continue in E, B, and D buildings, maybe a little bit into A as well. Installation of wall tile in the corridors, wall tile in the bathrooms, and floor tile in the bathrooms as well. That'll continue. Hookups of the rooftop units, so duct, plumbing, and electrical going to all the rooftop units on the building. Acoustical ceiling grid and ceiling work is going to continue throughout all areas of the building. And our site work contractor has remobilized. Right now, they're working on utility feeds and then also on retaining walls throughout the site. So we do have some retaining walls on the west side of the site that need to go in to assist with that installation of that new road, the creation of the new road between Columbus and Lothrop. Commissioning efforts are continuing throughout the building, both MEP and envelope. So good news there. We've not had issues, but it's been a great process so far with the town's MSBA assigned commissioning agent, SMMA. So doing really well there. We'll run through a contingency update. So as of today, 55.7% of the contract time has elapsed. Of the 3.74 million construction contingency, we are tracking 2.4 available. We have had 858,000 in change orders and current exposure of 440, almost 447,000. Again, to remind everyone, the current exposure does not represent what will be paid. It is just what we're aware of at this point in time. PMA and Perkins Eastman are always reviewing any type of exposure to make sure that the town is receiving fair and reasonable pricing from all the contractors on board. And that does also include stuff that has been rejected at this point in time, but has not been closed out with the contract, with the general contractor. I think, as everyone is aware, the select board authorized up to $900,000 to be moved over to FF&E and IT overages. We are working on finalizing the buyout through that package. We have an update further down in this process, but we are tracking right against that number. We've had quite a few go through. We're working on making sure we have all the backups so that the contracts can be signed. The PO has been issued. It's just finalizing the documents. So those numbers are with the vendors right now. And then there's just some minor buyout stuff that needs to happen on items that may not have been bid, may not have gotten a number on, or we've realized that weren't carried originally that we need to make sure we get into the FF&E and or IT budget. I think we have 3 remaining, or 3 outstanding, but we're tracking right against that, and we'll give an update in a minute on that. And then against the bid savings, we are tracking, and we're always planning to track the wastewater treatment plant. We did receive the bids for that project, 1.49 million. Unfortunately, we did hit that COVID bubble and received quite a higher price. Unfortunately, and a lot of avenues were reviewed. The select board did authorize the execution of that contract. We do have that contractor on board. We have an update on that as well. But that is what stands against the bid savings. Moving on to that FF&E IT budget update. So currently we have 1.7 million authorized. And then at the select board meeting, the 923 went on April 2nd. So that was the second round of invoices. We have $374,000 remaining. And as I said, we have a couple outstanding items with Pointline Space, our FF&E and IT procurement agent and installing agent under Perkins Eastman. We have digital display units, so teacher CPUs, computers for the classrooms throughout the school. That's one of the large items that's going to go against that 374,000 still. So you can see furnishings were really the kind of the budget, not budget breaker, but the COVID bubble that really pushed us. Technology was actually able to stay right online with what we were anticipating. But we're moving right along with that process. We haven't heard of any issues. We're very happy to get those POs out early, especially for technology. The PMA team's been working with Pointline Space to make sure this equipment's going to be here for the school, and it's actually, some of it's already arrived in some of the warehouses for the vendors. So we were happy to hear that. Moving right along. Wastewater treatment procurement construction update. So the contract was executed last week with Paul J. Rogan and Sons. Paul J. Rogan. We have our construction kickoff meeting scheduled for 2 p.m. tomorrow. I know that they're eager to get going. They are looking to get their submittals in with Perkins Eastman and with whoever is going to be reviewing the submittals for Perkins. So I know that email's out there, and I'm happy to give you guys an update at the next meeting after the kickoff meeting and let everyone know where that's heading. Should have moved right along, sorry. So as Jackie had mentioned, we have the June 15th meeting scheduled, the July 20th. Jackie, we do not, Dan advised, we do not need, we can ignore the new business item that we had for that request. We can stay at the third Wednesday, not an issue with Perkins. So
Okay.
I will turn it back over to the group for any questions and or back to Jackie.
Does anybody have any questions or comments, anything to bring up? And again, I can't see everyone, so just shout out.
Hi, Jackie. This isn't a question, but this is Billy Silbright, and I am in attendance now.
Okay, thank you, Billy. All right, if there's nothing else, I will take a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Jackie?
Oh, there's something else.
Antonetti, second.
Caroline has
Okay.
something.
All right,
Caroline has
okay.
a question, I think.
I just wanted to
Oh,
tell
sure. go ahead,
Billy,
Caroline.
I just wanted to congratulate Billy on his daughter's Globe. The the Hockomock League Globe All-Stars. That's all. Sorry.
Well, thank you very much. She and the entire team did very well.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, roll call vote. Cedarbaum,
Yes.
Weintraub,
Yes.
Helen,
Yes.
Vamosi,
Most is yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Fulgenetti,
Yes.
Sobry,
Yes.
and Wiseman is yes. So everyone have a good night, and we will see you next month. Bye.
Thank you.